Hey everybody, this is Eli Freestone, and you're watching my Project 2 screencast for Advanced Scalable Data, term 1302. So this week project did go smoothly for the most part. As expected, the JavaScript did take a pretty significant amount of time, but my biggest problem is I have a bad habit of overcomplicating things. Thankfully, it's more in the logic and planning stages, so once I actually get down to writing the code, I tend to have it a bit more streamlined, and then I can go back through and refactor and streamline it some more after that. But yeah, it did take a pretty significant amount of time. No major hangups though, thankfully. I was actually dreading pretty badly to rewrite all my functions. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it was. But after going back and studying up on old JavaScript techniques from MIU and VFW, just so I could really make sure that I was following every little thing that was happening in my old script, um, everything went good after that. My new JavaScript file is kind of a mix between brand new functions that are more or less written all in jQuery. Then there's some functions that are kind of a mix between jQuery and JavaScript, using some of the old techniques. And then I also have some smaller functions like my getImage function that is completely JavaScript and written in a very similar fashion to what I had before. Um, so anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the app. I do have a few small quirks that I'm still trying to work out. They seem to kind of be cross browser type issues. Different quirks pop up in different browsers. But Chrome is the one that I typically test in, so I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of those real quick. So the first one has to do with the edit item. I already put in a test. Now, it's supposed to fill out all it's supposed to populate all the fields. As you'll see, the drop down just says choose an event. This seems to be more of a jQuery mobile thing, because if I add data role none to that and go back to the native dropdown, it does show the event. But in jQuery mobile, it doesn't unless you click on it. Then it actually shows what the event you're editing is. So I'm still trying to work that out, as well as it doesn't check my checkbox all the time. It's kind of weird because sometimes I've had a couple of times where it actually checks it. I've had another couple of times where it acts like it is checked, it just doesn't show the check mark. Like you'll click on it and it won't do anything, basically like it's being unchecked, and then you click it again, it'll actually check it. So that might also be a jQuery mobile type thing. I'm not 100%. I'm still working on that. It does function though. My CRUD is completely 100% functional, thankfully. So the other quirk I'm going to show you happens in all the browsers, and that's with my deleting item function. Let's go ahead and add another event real quick here just to show you. Anyways, the problem is basically when it reloads the page, it then hides the events that I have there. So let's go ahead and just show you real quick. This happens regardless of what browser. I've tried several different things to try and fix it, including making the page go back to the index and then coming back to the display. I've tried refiring the show data function, stuff like that, and so far I just haven't been able to get to the bottom of it. But if you see, the functions or the event's still there, so I'm still trying to figure that one out. Anyways, so a reoccurring task in my life that I've had to optimize. I think the best example of that would actually be my morning ritual. I have a pretty bad back from an injury several years ago, and I have to do some stretches before I can really get out of bed. Right after I got hurt in physical therapy, they taught me several different stretches and exercises that I can do. But the problem was it was 20 or 30 minutes if I did them all in order, and for the times that they wanted me to. So I whittled that down to about 5 minutes every morning, and then I'm fairly mobile and everything's good to go. So yeah, that's definitely a good example of something I've had to optimize. Anyway, so I guess that's about it. Again, this is Eli Freestone, ASD 1302, and this was Project 2. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.